over a reader and pay, which we see.
This thing is months away. You know what I'm talking about. My favorite subject, and it's everybody's favorite subject right now. Let me bring this up. This is live GMS all precepts. Let me bring it back. Let me bring it back. Bear with me for a minute. Let me bring it back here. They're going into. Let me bring it back here. Bring it back a little bit more. Okay. This thing's definitely months away. The cashless society is right at the door.
Now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Beautiful.
For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
You can speak out.
God, the time that we're in, as we're seeing, we are in the days of the end of the heathen reign. We are at the end of
Fulfillment of all
Esau's
the
enemy.
prophecies.
Okay? So our salvation ties into that very fall. But there's going to be prophetic events that take place. The mark of the beast has to come to pass. The mandatory implementation of the mark of the beast. World War III. Okay? Jacob's trouble. There's things that have to take place in its proper order. Again,
Sure.
referencing the tokens spoken of in the book of Second Esdras. Right?
Yep.
So as our salvation is nearer than we believe, we understand that these events are close as well.
Sure.
Like the elder has said, we brought this article out a while ago, but look how fast it's happened.
Right. That's right. Great points, man. Um, yeah. So I want to read this. Right.
And this is why I brought it back some because he went into the chat and interested in reading. The chat is something else, man. And chat knows everything about GMS. Ask about any subject and put in what's GMS take on it or IUIC, and you get all kind of information. So you can learn if you want to learn what's GMS really all about. Hey, go to the chat.
Adding on to the point. All right. This is from the chat GPT. Let me pull it up. Bear with me. So I was just curious, messing around. So I had put in how close is the U.S. government to pushing microchip payments, and this is what the chat GPT said, right?
Excellent question, straightforward question. Usually, when you ask a question like that, chat they'll say good question, interesting question, question.
So it says it depends a lot on what exactly you mean by microchip payments, RFID / NFC implants, biometric implants. Let me make that bigger. Slock here.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna read it again. So it says it depends a lot on what exactly you mean by microchip payments, RFID, NFC implants, biometric implants, government issued chips, etc. But in general, the U.S. government is not currently close, right? Is not currently close to mandating or widely deploying microchip implants for payments. How?
So they're talking. The chat is not saying, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Could you please be more specific as to what you're talking? I don't know what you mean. Microchips, implants. What are you talking about? No. This is something, man. So the chat knows that the whole world will be confronted with the fact that they have to get a microchip implant, which is that completes the circle. What I call the four centers, the four. What the hell did I call it? I called it something. Let me see if I can find it back. Give me a second here, y'all. Please, please, please. That's all we're talking about. Okay, can the Internet of Everything, meaning microchips in the body. Let me go to all, because I asked a question. Give me a second here. Let me try this. Bear with me. Give me a second, y'all. Yes, microchips microchips, and yes, microchips implanted in the body are a part of the Internet of Everything. IOE. Let me go to images. Okay, this is not what I wanted. Let me come on back. Here we go. I got it. I found it. What is it called? The extend, include intelligent, like focus on data D's. Okay, 4 components. That's what I was talking about. 4 components that make up the IOE, Internet of Everything. Right now, you got 3 components: process, things, data. This makes up the 4th: people. How they make you a part of this whole system is when they they can do a digital fingerprint, palm print, face scanner, retina scan, palm scan, digital. But the ultimate thing is putting a chip in you. That's the fulfillment of Revelation. Like, even if you get let's say you got to get a face scan to go to work, is that taking the chip? No. When you actually get it physically put in you, that's means you took the chip. That you're gonna have to not accept it, even under death. What if they do? If they put us? What are we gonna do if they put us to death? Well, you got to trust in the Most High. Okay, let me come on back. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. This is a spiritual thing. All of us have been talking about this, so it's got to be right down the road.
However, the underlying there's an active discussion, some early private use in legal/legislative safeguards. Here's a breakdown of where things stand as of 2025. It says what's possible now in some private experiments. There are companies in Europe and elsewhere offering microchip RFID NFC implants that can be linked to payment accounts, so you can, quote, wave your hand over a reader and pay, which we've seen that, right? In the U.S., a company called 32M, 3 Square Market, has offered voluntary RFID chip implants to some employees to use as access keys, payment in company break rooms.
That goes back some years. What are we talking about? 8 years? Give me a second, y'all. Let me do this. 3 Square. Oh, let me do it this. Why am I doing it like this? Let me do it like this. Give me a second, y'all. And please watch the movie Elysium. That's when the system is in full play. Please watch the movie Elysium. You can watch it free on YouTube. And clear copy too. Watch it before they take it down. I made a copy of it. Give me a second, y'all. Okay, this is another movie. Weapons. Anyway, let me do this. The elder just read something concerning 3 Square Market. Three Square Market and the implant. I want to date back. Okay, this goes back to 2017. The 3 Square Market CEO explains its employee microchip. 3 Square Market was the first American company to voluntarily implant employees with a microchip. That's the chip. Revelation 13:16. In 2017 to use. Are you watching this, Deacon Malachi? you better get away from the IUIC. You better get away, because you're going to get caught out there. You're going to get caught out there. The Most High could take that spirit from your mind and have you follow this guy. Now, we hoping that they come to their senses. We hoping that, Bishop Nate says, nah, I was wrong. The mark of the beast is a microchip. Don't take it. And the same goes for Johanna. Johanna said, I was wrong. So you mean to tell me GMS was right all the time? Yes, yes. And we got to get with them. We got to get with them brothers. Right? So it says here, so we give you receipts. We don't just say shit. We give you receipts. Let me bring it back over here. I'm sorry. Okay, it's right here. I'm gonna put it over here. Okay, so you got he's ahead of Charlotte, down south. Elder Aisha Yah. He's the one that's reading this. Everybody in Chat GBT is a new thing. I've been going into it a lot, and I guess everybody following suit. But I got it from somebody. I forget who I got it from. I forget who first, and I said, well, let me go check it out. And a lot of the times I'll go to the chat just to see. Sometimes they go off. But here it is, a reader and pay. In the U.S., a company called 332M or 3 Square Market has offered voluntary RFID chip implants to some employees to use as a access key payment in company break rooms, logging into computers, etc. So I said, well, let me go see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find a receipt. Let me go see if I can find a receipt. Because we say something, we better back it up. Same article, 2017. I thought it was longer than that, but we're talking almost 10 years. We're talking 8 years, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We're talking 8 years. Remember when this article first came out, we did videos on it. 3 Square Market was the first American company to voluntarily implant voluntarily. There's going to be a time where the government is going to make it mandatory. Employees with a microchip in 2017 to use for tasks like opening doors and logging into computers. The chips are embedded in a small biometric, and bio means life, living thing. We're a living thing. We're bio. An animal would be considered bio. Biology, the study of a living person, a living animal that might be put to death. You cut them open or operate on them. Compatible glass case, and are designed to make daily activities more convenient, right? So let's come on back. I'm gonna let it play. Okay, I'm sorry. What is this?
Not only.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is something else. Let's come on back. Let it play.
Logging into computers, etc. These implants are voluntary, small scale, limited in adoption, and mostly experimental. There is no wide consumer adoption in the standardization in the U.S. yet. Right? Here's the point.
Zaquan Baba Kushah, could you repeat that? The connection had broke up.
Okay, that last part.
That last bullet point.
Okay, it says, but these implants are voluntary, small scale, limited in adoption, and mostly experimental. There is no wide consumer adoption or standardization in the U.S. yet. Right? Here's the point. It says legal, legislative, and regulatory obstacles. Several U.S. states have passed laws that ban mandatory microchip payments or otherwise restrict employers from forcing or coercing implantation, right? It says, as of recent counts, 13 states have statutes that bar mandatory human microchip implants. Check that out. But is that going to stand? Right?
Right, because if I may add to you, Zaquan,
Yep.
matter of fact, let me right fast find this article. Because what we're seeing with this current administration is that they're upending a lot of the laws and legislations that have been the foundation of this kingdom.
Yep.
Now, brothers have went into this article a while ago. This was an article from The Economist, and it was titled "The Rise of the Superhuman." And this was posted March 22nd. This is the March 22nd edition. I'll just make the quick point.
No, take your
just
time.
to feed to your point, Saquon.
Yeah, take your time. Pull it up.
Let's see. See here, page 15.
It's like you were saying, all these laws, these constitutional laws, and all that shit is getting uprooted.
Yep.
So yeah, you might have 13 states that have statutes, that bar mandatory human microchip implants, but who's to say that shit's gonna stand? All right, when they bring forth an economic collapse or whatever the case is, cyber attack, whatever their justification is on pushing that device, right?
Con, I got you right here, Zaquan. This was the article right here. It was titled "Cyborgs, Superhumans, and Cranks," where it was pretty much talking about the integration of, transhumanism, or the introduction, I should say. So it says, tech luminaries such as Peter Thiel, co-founder of both PayPal and Palantir, and Sam Altman, the boss of OpenAI, are pouring money into the idea that the human body can be improved. It is not just the vision of the future in which aging is held at bay and Olympic feats of strength, speed, or endurance are commonplace that is exciting investors. The point, they are also energized by the sense that America's current leaders are open to this sort of techno-utopianism and may help foster it. So the very people that are in this administration, they're going to allow these things to take place. That's why we see that with this past big, beautiful bill, there's really no regulations on this, the integration of AI and the powers that they wield.
Yep.
So if this is the direction that we know prophetic is to take place, it's going to happen.
That's right. That's right. I want to read something real quick, not to get off point, but
please forgive me for cutting off on them hidden points. This whole thing, this whole fiasco, whatever the hell you want to, this drama, this event, where you got ICE agents and National Guard, they're all in the cities, and they're grabbing up people, arresting them, they're processing them, and they are taking snapshots of their face. They're doing everything digitally now, and I believe that they're going to let, if not all of them, a lot of them come back in, but they have to be processed. They got to get, they got to get in the system, the facial scan, the eye retina, and they'll be willing to do it. And then eventually, or, they might pass all that and say, if you get the chip, you can work. These people are getting grabbed up. They don't know nothing about the scriptures. So they're going to say, yeah. That's why they're going into these cities. They're putting everybody under lockdown. But a digital lockdown, which is called I believe it's called a digital fence. Let me look that up. Digital fence. Give me a second. All right. Give me a second. Give me a second, y'all. Just want to look up this word digital fence. What is a digital fence? A virtual fence. A virtual fence is a technology that controls livestock using a system of GMS over cities. Let's put over cities. Over cities. A geofence, a digital fence, or geofence over a city is a virtual perimeter created around a specific geographical area. That's your 15-minute city. Once you go out of that, you're out. Your money ain't gonna work outside of that city. If you're assigned to a particular 15-minute city, you go to the next city. You know, unless you're authorized to go out, because they'll let you go out maybe 100 times out of the year to see relatives and stuff. So this is a digital prison. So you go out of it, and you're not supposed to be outside of your 15-minute city. You didn't get authorized. You go to use your card. You can't get gas. You can't pay for nothing. This is a digital prison, open air prison. So everybody's gonna be locked in, locked up, locked in. Okay, area using location-based technology like GPS, Wi-Fi, and cellular data. When a mobile device enters or exits the designated zone, 15-minute city, it can trigger a pre-programmed action. They can stop your car. You are unauthorized to be in this city. You are authorized to be in your own city. We will allow you to use your car again once you turn around and go back into your city and get an authorization. That's digital prison. That's digital prison. That's what they want to do. But everybody's going to be chipped. So we're going to fight against that, and we're going to look like the bad guys. And that's all right. Let's go ahead.
I want to add on to what you said about this whole transhumanism agenda, right? Just real quick, and I'll come back to this, right? This is from News Targets, came out back in April 15, 2025, right? So real quick, it says the divine versus digital battle. Scientists exposes how transhumanism seeks to erase human consciousness, right? Check this out. It says humanity is caught in a timeless battle between light and dark, with transhumanism as the latest front, driven by elites like the WEF and UN to merge humans with machines by 2030. The point: global agendas aim to erase innate human abilities, creativity, intuition by promoting AI and implants.
Wow.
Falsely claiming humans are flawed and need technological upgrades, which you just said, right? It's all tied into the snare.
That's it.
Now, it says, and at this point right here, this last point, it says, jumping down here, it says the WES 2030 vision includes neural implants linking brains to AI, creating a hive mind that erases individuality and surrenders human sovereignty to centralized control. There you go.
God damn. Yo.
Come on, man. Are we not closer than we believe?
Yes,
Man.
indeed.
So I'm gonna go back, not to get off topic, right? And we'll get to the scriptures in a second, right? But back in the read, the question that I posed was, how close is the U.S. government to pushing microchip payments, right? So back into the read here under legal, legislative, and regulatory obstacles. Jumping down, it says, there is no federal law that mandates such implants. You already know, I call Revelation 13.
Yet. Not yet. Yet. Y-E-T. Yet.
Right? Not yet. Because of privacy, medical, regulatory, and civil rights concerns, any move to require or broadly enable microchip payments would face intense scrutiny, opposition, and legal challenges. And that's right though, because when it does get mandated and when it does come to pass, all right, these devils they're already expecting to have resistance. Okay, and that's basically what the AI and the system is for. They're going to know who has and who's against it. Okay, it's going to be rebellions. You got Edomites all over the internet now talking about Revelation 13, 16, and 17. All right, bringing out TikToks. You know, talking about how close this payment system is. How close this.
Yeah, Esau's a lot of Israelites too, but these Bible Belt people, and I said this in the past, Southerners, these born againers, these evangelical people, they know that the microchip technology is the fulfillment of Revelation 13 and 16. The ones that don't know it are the Israelites. I mean, when I say Israelites, Jake out there in the world, they don't know. And then you even got major Israelite groups, camps, they can't see it. They're going to see it when it comes. You know when they're going to see it? They're going to see it when they got to take it.
Payment system is. It says, last part, it says, scholars and legal commentators often argue that protections should be in place to prevent incentivizing or coercing implants to regulate use of data, address, privacy, etc. Last part. Here's another snare. It says why the government is unlikely to push this soon, right? It says medical safety liability concerns implanting chips in human bodies has health risk, reactions, failures, needs for removal or repair, etc. Regulatory bodies like the FDA will be deeply involved, and large-scale deployment will require strong safety data. Public resistance, ethic, and civil liberties. Many people are wary of implants, especially ones tied to the financial or identity data. The quote creepy factor and surveillance concerns would generate political blowback. Technical standardization challenges for microchip payments to work broadly. There would need to be standard interfaces, security protocols, bank integration. All right, which all of that's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
Because bank integration, infrastructure at point of sale, etc. That is non-trivial. You just gonna say something about?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was just agreeing with what you guys said. This is happening right now. What ChatGPT fails to realize is that the very systems that it's mentioning would not do this is actively doing it.
Right.
Behind closed doors, you have, like we had went into that lesson with regards to that article from The Economist, and you have Esau, they'll have these sister companies where they'll pretty much, like BlackRock will work with, I believe the company name, let me pull this up right quick so I can,
You got it.
if I'm not mistaken, the name of the company is Blackstone. Let me see here. Yeah, it's a BCI. There was a BCI firm called BlackRock Neurotech, where basically it's a sister, or should I say, it's funded by BlackRock,
Right.
for the intent of developing this neurological technology. So all of these systems are working in conjunction.
You notice he said Neurotech. What's the other one that Elon Musk owns? What is it? Neurotech. What's the other one? The one that I can't remember the name, but Neuro's in it. Neuralink. Neurotech was set up long before Neuralink, I think it's called. So it's already in there. I'm sorry.
They're working together to forward this system to lead to the MOTV.
There you go. No way around it. I'm gonna read this last bullet point and we'll grab the scripture. It says cost/justification. The benefits, convenience would need to be weighed against risk, cost, and societal acceptance. Governments usually proceed cautiously when bodily technologies are involved. All right. So ChatGPT is saying that it's very far. Here it is. Bottom line, how close is the U.S. government? Very far. At best, we are in research, pilot, legal safeguard stage. There is no credible move underway to require such implants, and the barriers, legal, ethical, medical, are high. You see?
But you know, if I may add, Zaquan,
Yep.
to a degree, Chat right, because you read about the grievous sword that those that received the chip would take.
Right.
We understand Esau. He's doing this under like the scriptures speak about. Why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? Chat is coming from the angle of like, we wouldn't necessarily say that this is something that would happen,
Right.
Because it sounds crazy.
Right.
It's crazy to think that you can chip the whole world and put them into a digital enslavement. It's
Right.
crazy to think that people would actually submit to this technology. But according to prophecy, everyone is subject to prophecy.
So,
This is what is about to happen.
Second Thessalonians chapter 2. Right? Those people are gonna fall for that delusion. It just talks about. I'm roughly paraphrasing that they should believe a delusion or believe a lie.
Yep.
Matter of fact, get that real quick.
Kind of
We'll
got you.
get to that,
Second Thessalonians.
No, go ahead, Slaki, go ahead.
So like Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 11, it says, or I'll start at verse 10. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness and them, Salakia.
Start at 9.
Start at 9, Salakia. Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders.
Yeah, even him. Who's him? The Edomite. All right. This is even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders, going back into his pseudoscience, as we saw here, right? It's putting it in the screen again. All right. The divine versus digital battle. Scientists expose how transhumanism seeks to erase human consciousness. This is the power of Satan that he's coming with, man. Right?
And
Go ahead, Ak.
verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
Yeah. So as you see on the screen here, a lot of this stuff that these elites are pushing is all, high level witchcraft, Satanism disguised as science, right? And people are gonna believe in this. People are gonna they're gonna subscribe to it, right? Keep going.
Verse 11, and for this cause Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie.
So he's gonna send the Lord. The Lord's gonna send that strong delusion. Part of that delusion is believing in this beast system. Okay, people are gonna conveniently take the device because they want to get that $2,000. They want to be able to be active throughout society. People are gonna take that chip to live, to forward their life, in this new system. Go ahead.
Verse
I'm sorry, I just noticed this. This was up before. I didn't read it. Klaus Schwab, which is no longer the head guy at, he retired. He was the chairman, I guess CEO of WAIF, World Economic Forum. Now they're saying they want to do all this by 2030, and I always say I believe they're going to do it. We can't do it. We can't be here for another 5 years. No, 4 years and change. So this is what he said. Klaus Schwab, of the formerly of WAIF, says people's brains will be chipped by 2026. So they're going to really move quickly come January 2026 into the springtime, dead into the summer. They want to, yeah, they want to, they want to speed this thing up. So let's let them go back. They getting down.
12. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness.
Man, many people are going to be condemned, all right, for taking that device. And we know the end game, Revelation 14, all right, those that take part into the beast system in that chip, they're going to taste the second death, right? But the point that we're reiterating here is that this is here, okay? It's closer, the end is closer than what we believe, okay? You got that out?
God, you want me to reread that Romans 13?
I thought we was holding something else. Salakia. Was we holding
I have Revelations. I have Revelations 13. Yeah.
Yeah. We can get that. We can get that in 1 second. I got this pulled up here. We'll get that next, right? Let's read this here real quick. All right, just adding more on to the point. All right. But again, as we just read from the Chat GPT, how they're saying that it's far away from now for this type of thing to come to pass, but we clearly see that it's upon us now, right? So this is from News Target. It says JP Morgan mandates biometric data collection, tracking employee movement through their buildings, right? What more can we say? It says, the modern workplace is evolving, but not always in ways that empower employees. JP Morgan Chase, the largest bank in the U.S., is now requiring staff at its new Manhattan headquarters to submit biometric data, fingerprints, and eye scans just to enter the building. Okay? One step closer to the chip.
Mm-hmm.
What began as an optional security measure has quietly shifted into a mandate. See? Right? Let's read that again. What began as an optional security measure has quietly shifted into a mandate, raising urgent questions about privacy, consent, and the normalization of surveillance in corporate America. While framed as a safety upgrade, this policy marks a troubling precedent, the erosion of bodily autonomy in exchange for access to one's own workplace. If financial giants like JP Morgan can demand biometric data as a condition of employment, how long before other industries follow suit? See? All roads lead to the mark.
That's it.
Key points. You want to add anything out?
Yeah, no, if I may, if we're seeing this happen at the workplace, they're often using this aspect, especially within financial services, biometric data for protection. They're trying to create this use of technology as a means to try to enhance safety, to make things more protected.
Yeah.
Because the landscape, especially within financial services, there's been numerous data breaches. We're seeing that fraud reports are at an all-time high.
Yep.
So with this, as the article has said, how much more before we see this hit other industries? Because biometrics is just another step, because biometrics isn't safe.
Mm-hmm.
So then it goes to the next level. Well, we need to actually go inside of you.
Yep.
We actually need to put a chip inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we know it's going to be safest.
There you go.
All your information, nobody can get into it.
Yep.
It's all a lie.
They can say there's been an increase in identity theft, right?
Yep.
So now we need to know if it's really you, So that, again, that's the narrative that's going to be pushed in the time to come to justify mandating this thing, right?
Right.
Key points: JP Morgan's new headquarters enforces mandatory biometric enrollment, fingerprints or eye scans for employee access, despite earlier indications it would be voluntary. Right? Did we not see that before with the JAB? They said it was voluntary. You didn't really need it, and then they put the pressure on people to get it. It says the bank has not clarified how long the data will be stored, or who controls it, or whether employees can opt out without penalty. Unlike states, unlike states with biometric privacy laws like Illinois, New York lacks strong protections, leaving workers vulnerable to the misuse of their data. The policy aligns with the broader corporate push for frictionless, quote unquote, surveillance, raising concerns about tracking productivity, attendance, and movement. All right.
And if I may land back on that point as well, because with financial services, that particular industry, just speaking from experience, there is a push to integrate systems and software that is tracking people on a regular basis. You take into account that 8 hours of your day, you're being tracked. Like that's a major portion of your day. So for that to be integrated into other aspects of your life, it would almost seem seamless. You see, you're giving 40 hours of your week to a 9 to 5, and then you integrate this into other aspects of your life. It's not going to be seen as anything that's, it may seem discomforting, but at the end of the day, a lot of these people, they don't have anything outside of this system. They don't have the truth. So when they, like we read in Second Thessalonians, the second chapter, these people have been given that strong delusion. They don't understand the severity of what this devil is attempting.
Like these other Israelite camps that can't see it, they will see it when it actually comes. When it's manifest, they will see it when it actually takes place. And you guys in GMS, let's say you're not, the ones of you that are not, you came in unawares, Jude, and let's say you're not ultimately of the elect, you're going to fall off either before the chip comes or when the chip comes. You're going to have arguments with your wife, baby, we got kids, we got to eat. What do you mean we can't take the chip? And then you're going to break down. You might not tell us nothing. And you might not come back, Some of you might get the chip and come out to camp. But it's going to be a test. There's definitely going to be a test. And it's going to be a major shakeup, as I've been saying in videos. Sound like a broken record, forgive me. It's going to be a major shakeup in the so-called Israelite community as to what they're going to do. They're going to really consider this is the chip, and they're going to consider that GMS was always correct. And like I said, hopefully the leadership of the IUI, and well, if Nate can't see it, I hope some of you other guys in leadership, hop off that train. Okay? Because bottom line is this: if you're one of the elect, you're not going to take it. You're not going to be deceived. If you're not one of the elect, and you know that you're an Israelite, but you're not one of the elect, you're going to take it. You're going to fall off. You're going to get caught out there. Now, I read that they had put up an article with Klaus Schwab. He said everybody's going to be brain chipped. That's not true, because people are not going to. Jake ain't going to take no. Jake ain't into having something their head cut into. So they're going to take most people are going to take the chip in their hand. Certain people are going to take it in their forehead, in their brain, or both.
What to do?
They're going to sell out.
That's it.
Last point. Critics warn that once biometric data is compromised, it cannot be reset like a password, making this a permanent risk for employees. All right. And remember, they've been bragging about how, if you get the implant, you could be hackable. They can hack the chip. That's pretty much the point on there. So yeah, let's grab that. So again, all of this shit is closer than ever, man.
But you know what? They can't hack it, because if somebody hacks your chip, they'll be able to find out they can locate digitally where the person hacked it, where they're shopping, and they'll narrow it down to keep going to this apartment number 101 on XYZ Street. He's always there. You know, he always gets home at 6 o'clock and he sleeps and he gets up and he goes to this particular. So they know what the guy is. The guy that hacked him, they're gonna digitally find him out. So you can't hack anything. Can't hack anything. Because they know who hacked what. They're going to have control over that. So you can't steal nothing. You can't do it, like I said in the other previous video I did earlier, smash and grab. You got Jakes. You got 30 Jakes that come with sledgehammers and pew-pews. And they'll go to the jewelry store and they'll smash it. And they got scanners. They scan all these guys' faces, right? They got them in the system, whether they got the chip or not. When they go to, they're going to know that these guys are probably going to a pawn shop. And they're going to know, they're going to say, he's there, get him. They're going to rush and they're going to get him. So everything, watch the movie Elysium. Everything was tracked in that movie. When I saw the movie back in 2013, I forget all that, but the guy, when the reason why they found the main character, because they tracked him. They had drones that tracked him, and the drone would tell him he's right over here. Then you click his name up, and his face will come up. Then how old he is, how tall he is, whether he got a prison record or not. And that's a bad movie. I can see that a couple of times. That's a bad movie. That's a movie we might go see it again. You know, certain brothers come over, you know, and just see it and analyze it, man. I got into the movie like it was the first time I saw the movie. Cause everything that they showed in the movie is happening now.
Right? You got that out.
Zaquan, I just sent an article to you as well, very fast.
All right.
But you want me to read that Revelations 13 for you?
Yeah, and I'll pull this up.
We don't even need to read that no more, but you read it for people that are new. We already know it by heart. You don't even got to read. You can just recite it. You can just say it. You know? Revelation 13 and 16. Rich and poor, free and bond, right? Shall receive a mark on their right hand, on their forehead. And no one can buy and sell lest they have the mark, which is the chip. If you went into the Greek word, what's the Greek word for mark? Charagma. What is a charagma? A physical thing. Even the blue letter tells you that it's the chip. Even the blue letter tells you that's the chip. And all you guys going to the blue letter, Bishop Nate, I know you're going to the blue letter. You just don't tell nobody. You'll go to the commentary. You go to the Bible Hub, then you go to the blue letter, and then you look up articles. You doing what we do. You know?
God. This is Revelations. May I start at verse 15?
You got it.
God, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. All right, and that image is speaking of the revival of the Greco-Roman Empire, the very system that this beast, America, NATO, and EU mirrors.
Yep.
Okay, that system has been reintroduced by way of this beast that's in current power.
Yep.
That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And we're reaching that very point, right? Those that are not willing to submit themselves to the system will be killed physically, or they will be cut out of society, right? As we have on the screen here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
It's the charagma.
And as we, this is the charagma, that implantable device, right? Which John the Revelator has saw. This is the very thing that we're seeing implemented at the very end of Esau's hegemony,
Sure.
right? For all you camps that try to refute the word of prophecy. Now, when we go into this word for causeth, as we often do, the word in the Strong's Concordance, the Strong's G4160, it says, jumping down to definition one, or should I say I, subdefinition 7, it says to make, for example, render one anything, to make, for example, constitute, or appoint one anything, to appoint or ordain one that, right? So as we know, the word constitute, when you look that up, let me see here. It says to make up, form, compose, set up, established, enact.
Yep.
Right? So there's going to be an enactment for this technology to be used. As we saw what happened, as we see on the screen, the digital ID, what happened in Britain? The guy got on the podium and said, on this government, nobody that will take the, that doesn't have the digital ID,
Yep.
you won't be able to work by the end of the year. I mean, just that nigga said that shit like the end of the year was months down the line.
Let me spell it out. And we see right through it. Oh, another thing. It's not just for people who work. He said you gotta get it, the digital ID to work. There's another article that says 13-year-olds and up got to get it. So wait a minute, 13-year-olds don't work; they go to school. So it's gonna start with class. As I said before, it's gonna start with classes. You're gonna go to like when it comes to America. Anybody in the army got to get it. If you don't, you're gonna get what do you call it? Court martial. You'll be discharged, and dishonorably discharged. So they don't want to get dishonored, making a career and all that. They making good money. They taken care of. They don't want for nothing. So they're gonna take it. Then it's gonna go to the Navy, Marines, Air Force, Congress people, senators, anybody who works for government, paper pushers, nurses, doctors, patients. You can't go to the hospital if you don't got the chip. And why do we keep talking about it? If can't you guys talk about something else? No, because the Spirit's on us to talk about this subject right here. Because it's Swab said what? What did he say? Give me a second. What did he say? Give me a second. The article was right here. Okay, I'm 20. Okay, I'm right here. I'm going to come back right here. This is what he said. Klaus Schwab says people's brains will be microchipped by 2026. Today's date is October 17th. So we're talking less than 2.5 months. Yeah, we're talking about 2.5 months. It would be 2026. Can you imagine that? Bring this back over here. I'm sorry. I went too far.
Established by law. It says,
Yep.
see here.
Isaiah 14, 27.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 27. It reads, and in the Blue Letter Bible, the subheader of this Isaiah 14 verses 24 through 28 reads judgment on Assyria.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah 14 and 27, it says, for Yahweh of hosts hath proposed, and who shall disannul it? And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back?
Right. So you're not going to the will of the Most High. All right. You're not going to turn back the hand of the Lord at the end of the day. Right. This prophecy will come to pass. Right. Add Isaiah 55 and 11.
Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 11. It reads, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it.
There you go. But it shall accomplish that which I please. All right. So the will of the Lord will be done. All right. This MOTB will be mandated. All right. It will come to pass. All right. This is the prophecies we read in Revelation 13:15 on down. All right.
And some of us will be killed, head chop off, beheaded.
So all you Israelites out there that's watching all these different camps, and you're confused about what's really going on, like we say, just stick to the apostles and elders of GMS, man. This is where the truth is at. All right, because all the other camps are playing around. They're supposed to be warning. Now you got, like we talked about, IUIC is talking about, well, the what did they say? The digital ID, it's the mark of the beast and all of that, right? But what about the aspect of this? The mark going inside of the body. Everybody dances around that point, right? On how this is a physical mark that has to go in the body, right? And with that physical mark, or without that physical mark, I should say, you're not going to have the ability to buy and sell, right?
Got it.
So there's a lot of confusion, surrounding these different Israelite groups, man.
Dear Malachi, Deacon Malachi said, he said, everybody got the mark of the beast except for us because we repent. So my question is this: how is it that without the mark of the beast, how is it that you're able to buy and sell if you don't got the mark? And the mark is sin in all of its forms. It's stupid. And you guys are really laughable. We listen to you guys for comic relief. We laugh when you guys attempt to interpret Revelation 13 chapter. We laugh at y'all, man. Not just you, but all them other camps that do that.
Right?
God.
But this is why we're banging you on the head, okay, with the
And I'm sorry I keep cutting him off, but I'm gonna let him talk. I'm not shutting him up. He's gonna say what he's gonna say. I just got on pause, y'all. Abba Bivens. Well, what about Abba Bivens, which is Elijah? He never said nothing about, because the Most High didn't give it to him. Most High gives this truth to the prophets in piecemeal. Most High gives prophecies to Isaiah that he doesn't give to Joel, or Obadiah. Obadiah only got one chapter, and that was all prophecy. Isaiah got more prophecies than he did. So the reason why Abba Bivens never taught it, because there wasn't time for him to get it. The Most High didn't give it to him. When the seven came on the scene, it wasn't given to them. It was given to me. It was given to me because I was the one that pushed it. That's why the other apostles teach it, and the bishops and the elders. You got an elder right here, and you got an up and coming elder right here. Okay? So he said, listen to the apostles. Right, listen to yourself too. Listen to him. Listen to him. You got all these there going. I don't be going into a whole lot of articles, but the articles back up what the scriptures say. I'll read your article here and an article there, and it's easy to get articles on it. You put digital ID, you put mandatory ID chips as the chip, the mark of the beast, the chip, and all that, and just hit Google or hit AI and just keep asking questions, and then go to articles, go to news. You get all kind of news, you get all kind of articles and stuff.
with the prophecy of the MOTB, because it's here. Okay, there's no way you can escape and try to dip and dodge and say that you didn't know and all of that. We're making sure through the Spirit that you have clear understanding of what this is before it's mandated when it comes to pass.
And what's this precept just came to mind? If somebody comes up, well, Tahar, what if you wrong? What if you wound up being wrong? Well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I said, all right, I was wrong, brother. Maybe I'm not a prophet. But guess what? We're not going to be wrong. How about that? Deal with that. What if you're wrong? And we're not going to be wrong. 2 Peter 1. Give me a second. Strong delusion that they may believe a lie. Yeah, Bishop Nathaniel's telling this congregation a lie, and they believe it, all of them. All of them. Where am I going? This is what I want, but let me do this. Okay. Eyewitnesses, because Peter and the apostles saw, they were with the Yahweh Shai, they saw him do miracles. They were there when he got crucified, when he rose. He was with him for 40 days. After he rose, ate with him, supped with him, and then went up into the heavens. For we have not followed cunningly devised fables, because you got like Tazadakia, the so-called God said comforter, that him being a comforter was a cunningly devised fable. And then people believed it. And guess what? High Priest Ariel and High Priest Shaw, they went with it, which they were derelict of their duties. They were derelict of their duties. High Priest Ariel and High Priest Shaw were derelict of their duties. There's no way you should have accepted that shit. I said, nah, I ain't with this bullshit. And they probably would have called me to council and kicked me out. I said, you don't got to kick me out. I'm already out of here. I ain't with this bullshit. So, you know, High Priest Ariel and High Priest Shaw are going to have to answer for that. May the Most High have mercy on them. Because they let this shit happen. Yeshaya and Gazak, they left. But when they left, they didn't set up nothing. They didn't keep teaching. They just disappeared. You know, Yeshaya wound up on Sarnetta's show 2 weeks in a row. And you can probably still find the video. And Gazak wound up on a YouTube. Brother put up a YouTube thing, and he spoke for a while, a couple of hours, and then no, you know, I mean, he did say that they sold out to the Rosicrucian and all that, but when you guys left, you should have kept teaching. Y'all should have had your own YouTube pages and kept teaching. You should have kept going out on the highways and the byways. See, we here, GMS, had kept going out on the highways and the byways and doing the sit-downs. That's why the Most High didn't give it to y'all, and the Most High gave us the mark of the beast through myself. I knew about this in the 70s, man. 'Cause I was always into the scriptures. The parents that I came up under were always into, they were like black consciousness, but they knew that they were Israelites. It was always in the scriptures. So I came up in a house. I knew about the Illuminati. I knew about the Rothschilds when I was a kid. We used to have them reel-to-reels back before y'all were born. The big fat ass reel-to-reels, you know, and then the cassettes, and going to the Rothschilds, and I knew all about that. So when I, you know, started watching this, you know, the 7, it used to be the 7. They would go into the Illuminati, and I said, whoa, shit, how did they know about that? You know? It says, 16th verse, for we have not followed cunningly devised fables. You couldn't tell me that bullshit. I'm the God sent comfort, and people are clapping like fucking seals, retarded ass seals. It says, when we made known unto you the power and coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, but were eyewitnesses in his majesty. In other words, they witnessed him doing the miracles. They witnessed him on the cross. They witnessed him coming back. They were around. He was around for 40 days. For he received from the Most High, the Father. So that show you, this right here show you that the Father is over the Son. It said, for he received from the Most High, the Father, honor and glory. So that shows you that he wasn't equal to the Father. This is why we don't want to talk. We don't want to talk to you Christians. We ain't got nothing to say to you Christians. We ain't got nothing to say. We don't want to debate. We don't want to discuss nothing. If you say, well, let me get an understanding. I said, you want to get an understanding, fast and pray, ask the Father. He'll give you the understanding. Okay, if you can't get it, well, what am I going to tell you? Fast and pray some more. When there came such a voice to him from the excellent glory, that was the Father's voice. This is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased. You got a Father. Who's superior, the Son or the Father? The Father. So how in the fuck can they be the same? This guy, this big head fucking vocab talking about Tahar. He did a video. Tahar don't want to call the cops because they can't deal with us no more. Yeah, we can't deal with you. We can't deal with your nonsense. Yeah, we don't want. You need us. We don't need you. Just go ahead and teach the gospel like you've been teaching and see how many people following you. No, very little or nothing. Your motley crew, they done all gone their separate ways. It says, in this voice, which came from heaven, we heard when we were with him in the holy mount. We have also a more sure word of prophecy. So how do you guys know that the mark of the beast is a microchip? Because we have a more sure word of prophecy. We're sure of it. We're sure of it. Whereunto ye do well that ye take heed. We're telling you to take heed to the mark because you're going to get shooken up. We're going to be laughing at y'all too because you ain't going to know what to do. When they give it a deadline, you work whatever job you're working, you can no longer work on that job. Then when you go to the welfare, the food stamps, you can't get food stamps. You need the chip. And your wife is going to say, fuck it, I'm getting the chip. Me and the kids, we're going to get the chip. So, it says, we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, that you listen as unto a light that shineth in a dark place. We're that light that shineth in a dark place. Deacon Malachi, you're in a dark place, and we're trying to shine a light on your ass, and you putting your head down. If you want to elect, you're going to come out of it. If you're not, you're going to get the chip, and you're going to be destroyed. Then you're going to come back into heaven with your head. You ain't going to hell. That's another thing. This guy Nate teaching that 3 years ago. He started teaching that there's hell. That makes all the sense in the world. I don't know why I didn't see that. Ain't no fucking place. There ain't no fucking hell, bro. Where you burn, your spirit burns until the day when that's some Roman Catholic BS. And when the day star arise, well, it's the day star that goes back to the word Lucifer. That's talking about Yahushua. Yahushua is also Lucifer. Arise in your hearts and your minds, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. So if we're saying the MOTB is a microchip and you're saying it's something else, somebody's wrong. Somebody's going to hell, and it ain't us. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of men, but holy men of the Most High spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit. If you can't see that the MOTB is the micro C hip, guess what? The Holy Spirit ain't with you. You don't have the Comforter. You trying to break these scriptures down to your own destruction, to your own condemnation. You trying to figure this shit out for yourself. You can't figure it out. The Spirit's got to be working with you, my Negro. Where am I? Let me go find Okay, let me come back over here.
Consequent. If I may protect you on that, what the IUIC was saying, they were saying it was sin.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But like you said, these guys jump around the topic of, as the scriptures speak about in Revelations 13 and 17.
Right.
Yeah, he said that it was sin. That's what they say. So my question is this: so, do you guys got the mark? No. Do we got the mark? I don't know. Or yes, you do. We don't know. Well, what about Christians? They got the mark. Okay, so what they can do, you can do. You can go to BJ's. You can go to Costco's. You can go to a supermarket, a bodega. You can go to Targets, and you can purchase it. So how is it that if they got the mark, which is sin in all of its form, and you don't got the mark, how is it that you can wait online and pay for shit? They don't have no answer. They do not have an answer for that. Cause if I roll up on them or see them on the street, and I'll ask them. I'll straight up ask them. I said, because now you're using common sense. Common sense is not so common these days. That's the topic. Common sense is not so common. You don't know what you don't know. Bishop Nate, you don't know what you don't know.
Buying and selling. That is a major aspect. The ability to enter into the financial market and receive luxury goods and services.
Right.
That is a pivotal tool that Esau is going to use.
It's not just luxury. It's a Snicker bar. And buy a Snicker bar chunky. I used to love chunkies. I used to love them bad boys. I don't even know if they make them. I used to look forward to getting me a chunky. A Suzy Q when I was a kid. Woo! Suzy Q, forget about it. You know? You couldn't pay me to eat that stuff. You know? But you can buy a Snicker. If you want to buy a Snicker bar and you don't got that chip, you ain't going to get no Snicker bar. You better wait till somebody buys it, they throw the package away, and you can sniff the package.
To strip people of their access. Anybody, like I had made mention of at camp, watching the Elder Apostles video, if you don't take that MOTB, you're going to be homeless.
Yep.
You can't.
Yeah, I was wondering which apostle he was talking about me, because I did say that. Because I showed a video in China. And they doing that in China. This was on, I can bring it, all you got to do is go to Richie from Boston, go back about 2 or 3 videos, and there's a part where they're showing young Chinese people lying on the street, and the narrator was saying, well, 2 days ago they were living in an apartment. What happened that they're all of a sudden homeless? He said because they got, how did he put it? The social system, they got too many points against them, so they couldn't. In order for you to stay in your apartment, you had to pay rent. You couldn't make money. So that's the model. Certain parts of China, then all of China, will be the model for the rest of the world. This Prime Minister Strama, whatever his name is, he said, let me spell it out to you. If you don't have the national ID, you cannot work. Let me spell it out to you. And that's as soon as I saw it, 2 weeks ago, Saturday, as soon as I saw that, brother, I made it a video immediately.
You're not able to access the internet because you can't buy internet. You can't access your ability to get a car because you don't have the access to go buy gas or pay a car note or pay for car insurance.
Or register the car. I just got my driver's license. The last 2 weeks of August sometimes, I got my, and they changed the whole system. Last time I've been to everything I do with the DMV, they send me shit in the mail. They sent me the driver's license application in the mail too. They said I could have signed it up, went to like a eyeglass thing, with the eye doctor or whatever, and they'll have you read the chart and they'll say yes, he passed. If not, I had to physically go up in there, but I didn't have to go up in there. But I went up in there anyway, and the whole everything is like it's like I was like, what's this motherfucker? Not Rumpelstiltskin. Rip Van Winkle and shit. That slept for 20 years, and I got up. The last time I've been to the DMV, I believe was maybe 2016, 2017. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So we talking about 8 years. And I think that's when I renewed my license. In New York, you renew your license every 8 years. If a registration, I got to re-register. They send it in the mail. I send them a check. Boom, I'm good. They send me the registration papers. You know? So like I said, when I went to the office in White Plains, New York, that shit I said, what the fuck? There was a big sky rise there. I said, God, what the fuck? I said, I had to go on my smartphone and I had to type in where's the nearest DMV. And it took me to some other place in fucking White Plains. Then they said, oh, you can't get a license. You gotta set up an appointment. And then when they approve you, you can come in. Benjamin, you can't get the license. You must register. So I just went up to P. I took that nice little ride up to Peekskill and I said, let me try it. Jake woman, cool. She said, you're really supposed to register, but I'm gonna get you through. Don't worry about it, baby. Boom, they got me through. So I said, God damn, everything was fucking changed. The whole setup was changed. The whole setup was goddamn changed. You know? But anyway, I'm sorry for rambling. But I got 8 years, right? I believe, what is it? The next time I have to redo my license is in 2033. Guess what? They're going to change that. Whether it be next year, whether it be 2 years from now, they're going to say, okay, this is the new system. Everything is digital, cashless society. Oh, by the way, that driver's license that you got is no more good. You got 30 days to get that shit straight, but you need a chip. Or you need to get into the system because the trip is going to come down the line.
Or things of that nature. Everything in this society is transactional. So when Esau takes away your ability to buy and sell, you are literally being cut off from his system.
Yep. Man, how much more plain can we make it, you know?
I got something for you right quick, Zaquan, if I may.
You got it.
This is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 16, reading in the NLT. It reads, make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. Verse 17, the point, don't act thoughtlessly, but understand what Yahweh Shema Shai wants you to do.
Yep.
What is the will of the Lord? The will of the Lord is for this society to go down. But where do we fit into that picture? Right? As the scriptures say, put on as the elect. Make your calling of election sure. The only way out of this system is through Yahweh Shema Shai.
That's it.
So as we understand what the will of the Lord is to throw down this kingdom, the will of the Lord, the Lord is telling us to make preparation for the bridegroom. Make ourselves ready. Because as the elder had titled the lesson, we're closer than when we believe. We're closer to the end than we believe, So we should be in overdrive, getting prepared. Like this is like the final countdown.
That's it. 2026 is right around the corner, man. Hey, that could be the year.
Yep.
Based on how everything is going in the earth, how things are moving according to prophecy. Right? Now, this last point I was going to add, and if we segue to the other point or save it, we'll make that decision. But I want to pull this up. Bear with me.
And the brother Quanawaf has sent that article right there.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So here's another point, right? This is from America's First Report. The header here, it says, It says Nigeria, the lab of the globalist elite cabal, tries to boost universal health through digital IDs. See? And they're gonna push that system on Jake out there in Nigeria. Right now,
And they're going to succeed too. That's one more step closer. They do things by steps.
I want to just kind of hit the summary. I got it pulled up here. I had to screenshot it because I couldn't share it on the Chrome app, so I have it pulled up here. But I want to read down the summary here on the left. Right. Matter of fact, let me go to this other tab and just read from the top to the point. So here at the top in the summary, because I had it summarized the article, but it says here on the left, Nigeria's digital ID healthcare system partnership, the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, and the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, are partnering to integrate the National Identification Number, NIN, into the country's healthcare system. See? They're pushing that beast system over there in Nigeria. It says, goal, this initiative aims to achieve universal health coverage by 2030 by linking digital IDs to medical services. See? It says, supposed benefits. Proponents claim this will streamline access to care, reduce fraud, and increase transparency in patient and management. The bottom part here, the point, it says globalist influence, right? Globalist influence. The article alleges that this is part of a larger plan by international entities like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the United Nations to implement digital public infrastructure worldwide.
God damn. Just
Yeah, them articles, man, you find a lot of stuff in them articles. Now, this guy right here was kicked out of India for something that he did, some drug. He vaccinated the people, and thousands upon thousands of them died, and it linked back to them. So they had to flee the country. So the people in Nigeria don't know, and the prime minister, the president, or whatever, he probably a puppet. And these people are going to take. They're going to be a part of this, and they're going to ultimately take the chip, because the people of Nigeria don't know, even though they're Israelites. Now you got Nate that goes over to Africa. He's not telling them about the chip. He's not telling them about the mark of the beast. So the ones that do listen to him, they might say, "Oh, I don't listen to him, but I remember he said something about the MOTB. I'm not going to take it." So they're going to take it because Bishop Nathaniel, he had the opportunity to tell them, and his men did too. I guarantee you they don't go into the chip. So when it's time for these, when they introduce this technology to the people of Nigeria, because this is going to lead to the chip anyway, they're going to take it because they figure they're not doing anything wrong. So you held back. You took that talent and put it in a napkin. You buried it. Most High gonna bury you. You had an opportunity to tell all these people, these countries that you went to, about the MOTB. You're not warning the people. What is that? Isaiah 62 verse 6. Let me go ahead and check that. So we had we have also a more sure word of prophecy. Isaiah 62, if I'm not mistaken. Right. We were set on the tower to warn the people. Ezekiel 3, Ezekiel, what is it, 18, 30, 33. It starts in Ezekiel chapter 3 about warning them. Part of the warning is the microchip. What the hell just happened? Anyway, I'm getting ready to close it. Bear with me for a minute. Let me see here. Okay, I gotta. Let me do this. I'm sorry. I mistakenly X'd these brothers out. Shalom, I'm giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem, Al Shah Bashem, Rakakodah, Shalom to the 144,000, the rest of the elect out there, Shalom to you all. Okay, let me get these brothers back, the elder and the brother. Do it this way. Anyway, I said enough. What's this all about? 23 million views. King TV, whatever the hell this is all about. Okay, I just guess this is a gaming channel. I believe they, I'm sorry, all precepts. Okay, they're still going strong. Okay.
All right, it says we live. Shalom.
Shalom.
Let's check the feed real quick.
Anyway, I'm gonna say shalom on to the next shalom.